Hello, Better Lived Life crew. I am Christina, coach, combat vet, and community change agent. So, it's been a stressful week for most of us. And we are here, and we don't know what's coming in the future. And we're stressed, and we need to figure out how to move forward. So, after a couple of days where I hope you've given yourself the space to grieve, be in shock, stress out, whatever emotions you've been running through, I hope you've given yourself the time for those. So what comes next? First is accepting reality. So to begin with, I'm tired. This is an unscripted video because I did not have the patience or the mental energy to write through a script to give to you all. So I am accepting that, but I still want to make a video. I want to get something out to you. So here we are. And within that realm, before I start with helping to process and move forward, there's another part of that reality that we should probably take a look at. If you are a Democrat, you probably already know a lot of this. Maybe not specific in details, but you heard enough of it to kind of know. And if you are a Republican, I don't know. That's the group that loves to talk about do your own research, but doesn't seem to know how to do a basic Google search. So we're going to talk real quick about the economy since around the 1960s. So back around the mid-1960s, the Democrats and Republicans really did a reorganization of the political parties. The Democrats became the Liberal Party and the Conservatives became the Conservative Party, or the Republicans became the Conservative Party. So what has that looked like? Well, one of the things I have heard over and over again, and I've seen enough facts to back up, was that Democrats are better for the economy. We hear this over and over again, which does mean if you vote Republican and you claim you're voting for the economy, you are either lying to everyone else, lying to yourself, or you're one of those people that does not know how to do basic Google searches. So, what am I talking about? Since 1965, when the parties went their separate ways, if you look at the economy and you look at when recessions started, what you will see is we've had, since the party split, 65, we have had 8 recessions. 8. 7 of those began under Republicans. So I actually did draw something up. I am not going to have the energy to do editing, so I did this on a whiteboard, so you're going to have to deal with my crappy handwriting. But, okay, so we have, in 1969, Republican President Nixon, we had a recession begin in December. A second one started November of 1973, also still under Nixon. Then we had a Republican who did not have a recession begin under his presidency. That would be Ford. Then came January 1980. Carter, Democrat, had a recession begin under his term. Now, this, like I said, we've had one recession begin under a Democrat. January 1980. It has literally been 44 years since a recession began under a Democratic president. But let's just continue on here. What do we see? We see that in July 1981, Reagan, recession. July 1990, Bush won, Republican, recession. Then we have a Clinton presidency with no recession. Then we have, didn't start under him. Then in March 2001, we have a Bush 2 recession. Then in, dropping pens, December of 2007, we have a second recession under the second President Bush. This is the one most of us kind of remember. If you're a little younger, maybe you don't, but this was the Great Recession, beginning of the Great Recession. Then we had an Obama presidency. No recessions began under Obama. Once he got the economy rolling again, it kept rolling. Then in February of 2020, the Trump recession began. That's right. That was the Trump recession. It began during his presidency. And Biden brought it around. We've got the economy moving again, and we haven't had a second one since we got that turned around. Nothing under Biden. So, the reality is, history doesn't look good under Republican presidents when it comes to the economy. Since this is the same president who was president when the last recession began, we have to at least plan for the idea that there's going to be another one. Maybe it will be better than I fear, but this is a good time to just take a minute, take a deep breath, and start going, well, if I don't have an emergency fund, how much can I get together to cover basic expenses if something happened? How long will it take for unemployment to kick in? Go ahead and get that much money put aside. If you usually have a 3-month emergency fund, maybe it's time to up it to 4 or 5 months just so you can feel a little more secure. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe you won't need it, but it can help with the feeling of stability. If you have a 6-month emergency fund and you're stressed, you're still stressing, maybe bump it up to an 8. Try to find a point where you feel like you're going to be a little more comfortable. This is for your safety as well as family. Knowing you have the money there means that you could potentially intervene to help someone else. So doing that gives us some power here in America. Making sure you have some money gives you some power and some peace because you know you can ride it out until unemployment kicks in or other things happen. So when we do these sorts of things, we don't know what's coming. Like the workers that just found out they're not getting their Christmas bonuses and they're getting laid off from various facilities because they're already planning for Trump's tariffs. Those who got that news this week were definitely not planning for it. Apparently a lot of them were Trump voters because of the location where these layoffs are occurring. And surprise, we want to make sure that we are making plans that will provide us with at least some peace of mind. We don't need to get into the realm of complete paranoia. If you look at even the more worst case scenario, if you look at the modern populist movement, the modern push towards oligarchy or dictatorships and such, the newer ones that are getting in, they're not as effective as historical dictators have been. For the plain and simple reason that we have social media. Same reason you're seeing this video. So taking account that as long as we have a way to hold other people accountable, people don't like to see themselves as the bad guy. So things have been less extreme than they have been historically. I do discount Putin as a statistical outlier since his dictatorship did begin a long time ago, like a really long time ago, at least for a lifespan's consideration. It's been a while he's been in power. So he's of an older school mindset when it comes to what kings should be allowed to do. And let's face it, at this point in time, Putin's a king. So there is some peace in that if you will let yourself experience it. There's a lot he's threatened to do that he probably will not be able to do. There's a lot he's threatened to do he probably can do, and I know that's scary. Making sure you have some money set aside, that will help. Additionally, do some socialization with family, friends. Get out and see some people. Commiserate, cry at each other's shoulders, curse whoever you think is to blame, and don't be alone in this. Even if things get bad-ish, I don't think they'll get super crazy, but if they get bad, having those strong relationships with friends, family, if you think your friends and family are nuts, make a community online, find one. If they doesn't exist, start one. Having these people is important. It makes everything a lot easier, both in the terms of our mental health as well as if something goes wrong. These are the people we can turn to get more ideas, to potentially get support. So make sure you are taking care of yourself during this time. And within that vein, also make sure you're taking care of your physical health. This is not the time to self-medicate, if you catch my drift. Alcohol, drugs, we need to keep our wits about us, but also those things eat into your money, they destroy your physical health, they destroy your mental health. They actually make for worse outcomes. So as hard as it is to be present in the moment, stay present with us. Keep fighting for a better future. Know that you're going to do your part wherever you can, however you can. And do what you can to take care of your neighbors. Do what you can to take care of your friends. For better or worse, we're all in this together. We'll do what we can to get through it. So go forth and do great things.